All right, so let's shift gears. It is Pride Month. It is Pride Month. So last week was the first ever Pride event for Pineville. So this weekend, Saturday actually, from 12 to 6, Boone is having their Pride event. It's a big deal for organizers. I got a chance to speak with Todd Carter, Kirsten Morgan with Boone Pride Planning Committee. They've done a lot of work. They got a chance to talk to me about the evolution of this event. Started in 2022, they kind of scrambled to put it together, and then it's grown over the years. We talked about that. We talked about the impact of Helene. We talked about the impact of a new administration. So let's listen into that interview. Again, that's Todd Carter and Kirsten Morgan with Boone Pride. I got a chance to read the press release. 2022 was the first year of the event. And it was funny. I read it and it said you guys were scrambling to get to get it done the first year. Describe the growth from year one to where we are now.
Well, so there had been kind of an informal community event organized by one of the faculty at App State in 2019, kind of the first like real March, Pride March and everything. And then the pandemic happened. Um, and then I decided to run for town council. And one of my main issues was we were going to recognize Boone. We're going to recognize Pride in Boone because people think Boone is like this really cool, hip, liberal, diverse place. But the town policies did not reflect that. So that was one of my focuses was we're going to recognize Pride. We're going to fly the Pride flag over the town hall, and we're going to start having Boone Pride. And that first year, honestly, it was me. My parents had decided to move from Wash County to Wilmington. I was 2 weeks before like anything. People were like, are we going to do a Pride? Are we going to do Pride? And I'm like, oh my Lord. I literally had few people Venmo me money, and I bought stuff and pulled together like a little march down King Street and a rally at the Jones House with some other elected officials, and it was just really quick. But it was great. There were like 300 people that came. So now last year we had 1,200 at the first festival we ever had.
Yeah. Last year was the first like real festival then with like a stage and performers, music and we had vendors, and stuff as well. So it was very exciting to have this bigger event last year and really have so many people come out because we weren't sure. We are like, how's this going to go? We were 300, but yeah, we had easily 12 to 1,500 people. Which was a big deal because we even got kind of late started on the planning last year a little bit, but yeah.
Is it overwhelming in a good way?
Very good way. So in 2022, 23, we had marched on the sidewalks, and then the police chief, Chief LeBeau, who's since retired, he said, this is getting too big. We're going to need to close the street. But what's interesting about Boone is we don't own any of our main thoroughfares. They're all owned by the North Carolina Department of Transportation. So our main roads where everything happens is not owned by the town. So I had to write an ordinance and present it to town council. The council had to pass that ordinance, and then we had to attach that ordinance to a letter asking permission from the DOT to close King Street for a Pride Parade. So we have to do this every time for July 4th or Christmas. And I didn't know how it was going to go. So last year was the first year, and they said, sure. And so we did it. And this year we're taking a larger step. We're having motorized vehicles, some decorated floats, music. We're having grand marshals. We've appointed River Girl Fishing Company. I don't know if you're aware, but Kelly McCoy and Renato Dos Santos, they own River Girl Fishing Company in Todd. And when the hurricane hit, they turned their entire compound, which was decimated and destroyed, into a hurricane relief center. So we're honoring that.
With that being said, for folks first time out there, what can they expect? I know you sort of you talked about it, but what more can they expect?
Yeah, I mean, so they can expect a lot of things. They can expect a bigger parade than last year that we're going to have, right? We're going to have some vehicles. We have the whole street closed off. There's going to be people in drag performing in the parade, like just kind of there. It's going to be a very joyful vibe, right? Because as my shirt says, queer joy is something that is very important all the time, but especially right now. And then at the festival, which will go from 1 to 6 after the parade, they can expect a variety of local drag performers. We really wanted to focus on featuring drag performers in the rural areas here. So we have them not only from Watauga County, but from Ashe County and Avery County as well. And that's really important to us that we're highlighting local, drag performers. We have local queer bands as well performing. There's going to be a variety of vendors, so queer makers who make a variety of things. There's going to be a whole kids corner with art expression spaces and free face painting and all of that as well. So they can expect, a very much celebratory vibe of the day and a lot of cool stuff to do.
And a really cool unicorn mascot.
Yes, we have our unicorn mascot.
I do gotta ask, it's a two-part question. So a lot has happened since last year, right? Where you talk about Helene, a major impact, also a new administration as far as the federal government pushing back on DEI. To get to this point where we have this event, what has that been like? What are your feelings towards that? Have there been any challenges?
Well, I will say I was probably more nervous this year about sending the letter to DOT. I did not know how they were going to respond, even though the Council of Governments in our state is more supporting. I just didn't know. So, I mean, I literally was holding my breath and I called Kirsten and said, "Oh my God, we got it. Okay, we're good. We're good." You always got to have a plan B. But this year's more important than ever that we do this. And we're prepared, but it's even more important than ever, particularly to raise up trans voices, which are being attacked and pummeled from every single entity, federal, state, local. It's more important than ever, and we want to highlight and showcase that.
Yeah, and I definitely agree with all that. I think what I would add, is that what I think all of us, because we had our first like planning meeting right after the inauguration. And, we all kind of like a check. How are we all feeling? And it was determination. It was, we need this more now than ever. You may have heard this before, but we say pride saves lives because it does. I know as a young queer kid, I grew up in the San Francisco Bay Area, and a lot of people think, oh, you were probably so welcome there. Bullied incessantly. I had friends who took their lives because of it. And going to my first pride there was literally a lifesaver of like, oh, I'm not alone. And out here in rural areas, it is more important than ever. If even one person sees this, one kid especially, and goes, maybe it's going to be okay, and I'm going to stay today, that's worth it. So we were very determined to do this. I'm the one who posts stuff sometimes on like social media, like Facebook groups and stuff, because I don't mind dealing with some of the pushback we get. And I've had more people reach out to me asking, is this family friendly? Can we come as an ally? We want to support you. So I think there's a lot of support still around this for the most part. People do. And a lot of it is, I have a kid who's gay and I want to come and support them. And I've never done that before. And, because that is what happens, right? Most people know someone who's queer, whether they want to admit it or not. And so how do you love them? And I think relating to Helene, I think this is also an interesting time because it's still about community, right? As Todd mentioned, we're supporting River Girl as a local business that, of course, supported their community and was hurt not only by the hurricane, but was hurt by the tariffs, trying to get their supplies back up. So we're trying to do that too. And when the hurricane happened, I'm a professor at App State. So App State closed. So I had weeks off basically. And so I was out there digging out people's basements. Myself and some friends who are very visibly queer were in these haulers doing that. And we had conversations with people. And I think it affected some people's views on things because they're like, you're out here too, just helping. And it doesn't matter, who we are. And I'm hoping that we can continue to build that community because we're all here and we all need to take care of each other.
What's it like for you guys to be there? I mean, you're planning it, you're wrapped up in making sure everything goes on, I guess, smoothly. But what is it like for you guys to be there? Like, do you ever get a moment to have a sigh of relief? Like, okay.
The sigh of relief comes when it's over.
Yeah.
We did it. Nothing went wrong. But I think, I don't know. I get moments where I'm just like, wow, we're doing this. And like last year, how amazing it went and how many people came out. I was just so grateful. And I know, again, I have a feeling it's going to be bigger this year to be out of this kind of stuff. They look at it as important more than ever. And I'm just so grateful for the community support we've had with that. And just like this matters so much that we're able to do this here. And I'm so grateful.
Yeah, it's in 2023, we actually had a threat from the Proud Boys out of Winston-Salem, and then we had another threat from someone who was going to shoot us up. So that was the 2 hours leading up to the parade for me that year, or the march that year. And so it was a little stressful, and that is always top of mind. But at the end of the day, we have a plan. We announced the plan before. I mean, it really stinks that we have to think about these things, that if there is an active shooter, here's where you go. We've got all this planned out. We have safety marshals. We have a really supportive police department in Boone PD. And so we feel good about it. We feel good about the safety. Anytime there's been any sort of issue beforehand, they have dealt with it immediately.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're here to bring the joy. And yeah, I sometimes just will step on the stage between acts or just stand there in the crowd last year, just going, wow. Because this was really personal to me when I moved back here. I grew up in Hendersonville and lived in California for a number of years, moved back here, and I was just shocked at how behind everything was. Mm-hmm. And I was actually at the very first Charlotte Pride as a sponsor. I was working for a company in California that sponsored it. And I remember when Charlotte Pride was on one little block. So I remember that. That was in 2000, 2001. And I was like, okay, this is now Charlotte Pride. I want to make Boone proud. I want to bring that. I know I can do this. I've been to a lot of prides all over the country. But Boone needed it because everyone thinks of Boone, oh, that's a cool place. That's a really cool place to go. Well, didn't feel so welcoming sometimes. And that's what we set out to do, is like everyone is welcome here and we're going to celebrate it.
Before I let you go, is there anything else that I missed, that I did not ask?
Well, if you want to come watch the parade, it steps off at noon. You can line King Street. We have people from Morganton, from Gastonia that drive up for this, that drove up last year. That again, it's the kids. They like, I want my kids to see their first Pride. So, and the festival's from 1 to 6. We're going to have food trucks. It's going to be a lot of fun. Just come and bring your queer joy or ally joy and revel in celebration of pride and love and community.
Yeah. I think the thing I would add is just building on that is that I think all Pride celebrations are important, but I think what makes ours special is that it is truly that about community. I've never lived in a place, and I lived all around the country. I've never lived in a place that actually does live up in a lot of ways to a community that shows up for each other. And not just what happened when the hurricane happened, but since I moved here, I have experienced so much of that. And I think that people need to remember that that's what Pride's about, and that's what our Pride is about, is that love is there for everyone. And we want to be there to support you. We are not here to say we're better than anyone or anything. It's just, we want everyone to be able to be themselves and to be loved. And that even stands for the people that have some issues with us. Like, we want them to be able to be happy and live their lives too, because we care about our community. And if you look at all the groups coming, like our mutual aids groups and stuff, they are there helping everybody and anybody. And that is so important to us here. And that's what defines us, I think, as a Pride celebration.
And we have our first T-shirt, and it's a barn quilt.
Oh man, that is a really cool shirt.
Yeah, designed by local
artist who's on the planning committee as well.
Really great interview with Todd Carter. Kirsten Morgan with Boone Pride. The event is this weekend. Location 252 Poplar Grove Road in Boone. This Saturday from 12 to 6 p.m. So really great talk to those guys about the event this weekend. All right.